Let me get some pictures. There. So it has something to pick from. Stupid algorithm. AI. Um, welcome to Be So Light. I am Felicia, as well as Priestess Makala, as well as Niana. You pick and choose. It still comes back to me. How are you today on this light day? I hope you're doing good. I hope everything is moving in the direction that you want it to. I hope you are fulfilling your destiny. Let's say it together. Shall we say it together? Today I am divinely seen. Today I am divinely heard. Today I am divinely loved. I am divinely seen. I am divinely heard. I am divinely loved. In this moment, in this time, right now. All right. All right. All right. Let's get started. So, are you listening to your messages? Are you kind of like doing this thing where you're not paying attention? Are you listening to your messages? Are you listening to when you might click onto something and it tells you you need to go over somewhere else and be watching something because there's something that's getting ready to come through that's going to be very informative and you need to get that information versus being on in an area where it's old information being talked about that's not going to serve you. So I watched this timeline last night and I thought it was very interesting. I thought it was very interesting um, how I was going to go watch a certain program. And what the subject matter was, I didn't really feel, I stay away from a lot of slavery stuff, and I don't want to deal with a lot of that oppressive energy. And I won't even watch movies about it. You know, I just, that's just not. There comes a time when you have to stop giving energy to that energy. You know what I'm saying? There comes a time to stop feeding it. And I just had to say, I don't think I'm going to watch this. But then I was led to watch something else that was the total opposite of it. And it was almost like a test. It was almost like a test. Like it was a test to see where were you going to put your attention to? Where were you going to put your energy to? Were you going to go watch that? Or were you going to go over here and watch this? Were you going to be a part of this? So I chose to go over this way. I chose to go to the right. And when I did, I was like, interesting. And I flipped back and forth and I was watching because both these programs were on at the same time. And I was watching and I was like, wow, this one has way more attraction than this one did. And it just kept building. And I was like, yeah, let that test be on. So today's message is about, are you listening and watching for your messages? Because what happens a lot of times, we are asking questions, we're asking for an answer to something, and we just want to know if we're going to get that. If we're going to get that answer, we're seeking the answer. But sometimes it's not going to come in the way that you think it's going to come. Sometimes it'll come through a picture, sometimes it'll come through a friend, it'll come through a phone call. Sometimes it'll just show up on the back of someone's car or on a billboard. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten crazy messages on a billboard, as plain as day, kind of like in Bruce Almighty when he was getting all of the messages. He's driving, oh come on, show me a sign, show me something, and he's getting all these signs like don't go this right, dead end, da da da. He's not paying attention. So a lot of times we get our messages, but we're not really paying attention. That is our message and the answer that we asked for. That we're getting the answer But here's the message how you're getting it. So just because it didn't show up on a silver platter with your name on it, decked out with flowers all around it to say, here is the answer that you were seeking. Doesn't mean it's going to come like that. A lot of times we have to be more aware of where our focus is, what we're allowing ourselves to align with to get the message. Okay, let's start with that. So, after I watched that, I was blown away. And I was just like, wow. I mean, it gets you thinking. It really does. That this world that has been manipulated in so many ways is not real. Stay with me here. I got a medicine coming in for this. So, if you really think about it, doesn't that kind of make you a superhero? Like the top wizard of all in this world? Think about it. It's the game of buying the story. If you buy the story, if you believe the story, if you stay in the storyline. But what if you changed your storyline? What if you said, I don't like how this movie is going. I'm going to freaking edit the hell out of this right now. And all the shit that I don't like is going to end up on the floor. It's going to go in a trash can because this doesn't apply to me. It doesn't apply to my story. It doesn't apply to my journey. It doesn't apply to my life and how I'm living. When we look at the word life, this is coming in right now. It means living inspired force energy. Look at that. Just lit up as soon as I said it. Living inspired force energy. Life. 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 Living inspired force energy. So when we're living our life and being in that energy, life, we're creating. That doesn't mean that whatever current movie is playing, that you need to be taking a front row seat in and eating the popcorn and drinking all the soda and what have you, and staying until the freaking credits roll. Sometimes the movies don't even run the credits right. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot going on, lovelies. And I yesterday, you know how you just kind of clicking through and you're watching stuff, and I came across something that really saddened, kind of got me in my heart because I watched these people a lot when I was going through my yoga training, and I really liked their concept and share I want to say Sherry and Care, they share Ra and Kara. It's just, I watched them how they were able to erect the pyramid in Brazil, and they did it with the bamboo. They erected and got it up. And I remember when her husband had gotten sick, like a couple years ago, he got real sick, just like dropped. And she thought then she was getting ready to lose him. Okay. But he came back. And I said, "Oh, he came back. He's not done yet. There's something he still needs to complete in his mission before he can leave." That's what I said. So, unbeknownst to me, I'm, clicking around last week and whatever, and I see this thing, a memorable memory of him. And I'm like, oh, they're celebrating all the things he's done. But it didn't click that he had passed away on the 18th of this month. That was right after the Kali Luga had came in energy. Everybody was talking about it. He had made it through that portal and then exit on the 18th. So I'm doing my thing and fit writing the stuff down, and I come across her and she's talking, but I don't see him. I'm like, what the heck? And then Spirit said, he's not here. I'm like, what? And then she says it a week ago at this time, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what? I just watched them together in December. I just watched them do this big thing, I'm what? So then I heard the Divine Mother come in and she said, remember, this is going to be the time where we're going to see the women rise up and take their place. So I sat there and I listened to her with my heart as she was just still trying to show up. She even said that she was going to give up because she didn't think she can carry on without him. She says, I'm lost. I don't even know how to get into do this here and how to put this up and show this. And, he helped me with all of that. And I'm going to need some help to do that. She says, I wanted to just give up, but I can't because we birthed this and I have to see it through. Now she had went through so much where she had like a heart attack twice. And but she pulled out of it. She healed herself, pulled out of it. She stayed. And I was just like, damn. So he's gone. She has to carry on. There's going to be a lot of this playing out. And I remember when this happened to my Abuela sister in Puerto Rico, when my spirit papa had passed away. They were cultivating and pulling things together, and he got her right where he wanted her to be, and then boom, he left. Like that. I was like, wait a minute, I was just out there. We just finished doing medicine together. What do you mean he's gone? It's just in that moment. So when we get these things happening to us like this, we're like, you're frozen. You don't know what to do. You're like, oh shit, what do I do now? So I watched how she held it together. She talked for about a good 45 minutes or so, keeping everything, but then right towards the end, she gave her thanks. And she fell apart, live. How many times did I do it when I was on here when Deb passed? That was my buddy, my nursing buddy. We were on the phone every single day. So I could just imagine what she's experiencing. That was her hubby. That was her divine partner, that exit. And the great test is Is she going to keep it going? That's the great test. That's the test for all of us. When things push you up against the wall and you feel like, shit, I can't do it. Can't do it no more. We've all been there. We all sat back and said, oh, why the hell am I doing this? Is it even worth it? Is it even worth it? Isn't it worth me fighting for? Is it worth me getting my channel taken down? Is it worth it? People attacking me? Is it worth it? People coming after me, spewing all their negativity, saying I'm not doing like this or I'm not like them and da 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 da. Is it worth it? My partner's gone. My love is gone. How am I going to take something we created together and keep going? I'm sure that's what's going in her mind. She's living way up in the mountains. Everything was built. She has to go on. And this is going to play out this year. We're going to see it like never before, where the women are the ones left standing. And only the divine, truly divine masculine male can stay. And that means he's a true warrior of his light. He's on his path. He's commit no harm to woman or child in any way, shape, or form, and no harm to himself. He is being of service for the utmost highest of humanity. Those are the only ones that'll be able to stay. The rest of them, bye. If you're cheating on your wives, if you are out in corporate world doing stuff to people, if you're a part of the dark agenda, if you've hurt someone, stolen their money, part of corporations that have done all that, you treated someone so bad, you didn't care. As long as you could get ahead. That energy, those type of people will not make it through. Yeah, you're not gonna make it because you don't have the codes. You don't have the divine codes that is going to where you're going to be the door, the key to the door to go through it. You're not going to make it through it because, like I said yesterday, we're going to be known by the frequency and our vibration. So, yeah, she's got to carry it. You know, what a way to start the time off. And she's like, oh my God, it's enough to make you say, I can't do it anymore. I quit. You throw your hands up. But you can't quit because whatever you started, you have to finish carrying it through. Because there are other people who are connected to you that are using it to move forward in their lives. So I just started thinking about all the people and the people he came in contact. Do you not, light workers, healers, all of you, listen to this. Do you not realize that every day when you get up, when you put one foot in front of the other to go do something, that you're calling to do, who you're getting in contact with, the impression you're leaving with them. That's why it's a good idea. Don't be getting on different platforms and acting out and doing crazy stuff because that's an imprint. If you're someone that's on the platform and you're berating certain race of people all the time, or you're cutting down women, or you're cutting down men, or you're cutting down, people of certain whatever, you're cutting them down. You're leaving an imprint. So what kind of imprint are you leaving? Because here's the deal. When you're looking for your messages and information, how is that going to show up for you? How is that going to come in? This beautiful soul, a woman, she has to keep going now. And there's many of you out there who started something with your loved one and now he's gone. Now it's on you. You have to keep going forward. You can't give up. You have to keep going because there's a bigger picture here. And a lot of times, I think what happens is people, you meet certain souls and you connect, you come together, you start the journey together, you build the container of the energy together, and then when one of the mates have to leave, you have to keep going because you can't drop the ball. So many people, when something tragic happens, they don't drop the ball. But what you don't realize is that's kind of like the darker energy, depending on what the contract soul agreement was that you made when you came together to do this mission. Then they exit. But then there's always that darker energy that wants to come in and says, "Oh, good, her better half is gone. Now we can take her out." That's what they're waiting for. Get your light down. Okay, on to the next one. We got that one down. Who else can we take out? Archons know what they're doing when they do that. They look for that door, or the Maboyas, what we call them in Taino. They look for the door, the crack to get in. So when you're looking for your message, look for your messages. Pay attention to when your messages are coming in, especially if you see something 2 or 3 times in a day. You better be listening, especially if you hear from people in 3 days and they say the same thing to you. Now, I'm going to jump into something. Today, I'm going to pull the cartouche card. I'm going to pull from here. I love this deck because it's kind of scary. It's the Sacred She Tarot. Yes. Then I'm going to pull an activation card. Okay. So I want to tell you something. I'm going to tell you this quick little story about messages. Here's one. When I was, God, back in the day, in nursing day, I was, you know, doing my reads. And back in that time, I didn't do cards. I just literally sat in front of a person and I just wait and I ask, what's the message that I need to give this individual? And I always had these big, pretty angels that would be behind me, guarding my gateway. And I remember my brother, his first wife. Um, I remember after they got their divorce, she met this guy. Okay. This guy, whenever he would come in my presence, he didn't like being in my presence. Okay. She was dating this guy. And he would always leave the room when I would come in. I said, "You got something to hide." Yeah, we find out later he was not. He was molesting the girls, but he got detained and sent back. If I would have known more about the info, I would have made sure maybe something in his detainment would have happened. Mm, just because would have gave a little bit, but we didn't find out till later. So he gets detained. He gets deported back to I think it was back to Mexico. Gets deported. So she gonna go out there. She said, "Well, we're gonna move out to Guatemala. We're gonna move out there." And I said, "What do you mean you gonna move out?" I mean, it's like all of a sudden she gonna move out to Guatemala. She's gonna take the girls and they gonna live and work and she gonna live out in Guatemala with him. I'm like, no. And I heard very clearly, do not go out there. This is not for you to do. If you do this, you are going to be looking in the dead of night, running for your life at night, trying to get out of there. Please heed this message. Do not go. Okay, I told her. Told her straight up, don't do it. She knew she knew what my gift was. I told her straight up, don't do it. This had bad written all over it. She didn't listen. So, okay, now I gave her the message not to go. So the next day, because you were gonna leave that week, next day, she had been planning it out and she finally let us all know last minute she's gonna do this. So the next day, she's driving. She gets into a car accident, all beat up, neck, everything. She's hurting. That was supposed to stop her. Okay. Message. Honor the message. That was supposed to stop her. No, she didn't listen to that. Then on the day when she gets into another car, this woman out of nowhere speaks Spanish to her, tells her in Spanish, do not go. Do not take your children. Do not go to Guatemala. Don't go. Okay, I warned her. Next day she got into a car accident. Then the next day that she's planning to leave, this woman out of nowhere shows up at her car and tells her in Spanish, do not leave. This is what I mean about messages. Okay? You get a message, someone's telling you, don't leave. Don't take your children. She does it anyway. She does it. The whole time I'm like, yeah, my parents are like, oh my God. I said, don't. She'll be back. But they are going to be running in the middle of the night to get back over here. It wasn't even 3 weeks, might have been three and a half. Shit hits the fan out there with her and that guy. Got physical. In the middle of the night, she's grabbing her girls, running down the road, down a freeway side, trying to get back into California. Running in the middle of the night. So when someone warns you, tells you, and you don't listen, because I get that a lot with people when I get the message and I tell them, hey, this doesn't look so good. There's something winky dinky going on here. Don't, but then they ignore me. I'm not trying to get up in your business. The message is don't do it. Okay. A lot of us get those messages when you get that funny feeling in your stomach, like the time when I was supposed to go down, go get water, but I got that weird feeling like I wasn't supposed to get on the freeway and I didn't do it. I stayed home instead. A lot of us get those messages, but we don't listen. All right. So I thought that was really interesting how a lot of us were getting the messages, but some of us still don't want to listen. Do you really think that that person that has been in office for can't walk right and do things right? Do you really think that's a real person? Because like I said, Deb and I went down some very interesting roads and down some holes, and we were like, "What? That ain't it, man." Like I said, sometimes the movies just don't be playing right. Characters be flipping all about. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta really pay attention, and you gotta pay attention when you see a energy rise and feel an awakening upon you coming through. You gotta pay attention to it. So I'm gonna pull a Katush card. Yeah, the Katush. I don't see a lot of people pulling this. And I'm just asking Creator, what's the message? 3 cards today. Actually, it'd probably be two or three of the Sacred She cards, and then the activation card will be one of the Gateway ones. All right. So that's the message about today. Are you listening? Are you listening? Are you listening? Are you listening? Are you paying attention? Love this. So, yeah, she didn't listen. Went out there. I had a cousin. She got married to this guy, and she was all about, oh, I'm gonna move out to Texas and da 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 da. I'm like, you California girl, your ass ain't gonna go out to Texas. You're California girl. And I remember I told her, I said, well, you'll be back. You'll be back in 2 months. She moved back in 2 months. I just say it like it is. Some people just don't know. All right. So let's see what Mama has to say. And let's see activation. Now, these cards, they're very interesting because they're very galactic. Two of those. Okay. Okay, Katush. Oh. Series number 15. Okay. Because this is dealing with, you have to read it because it has a lot of information. I'm going to keep it kind of short and sweet and just give the main thing. But it's number 15, so that's a 6. energy. That 1 and 5. It's all about starting change. Okay, and this is how it breaks down. So it has the obelisk, the five-pointed star, the sacred star of ancient movables, universal awareness, space travel, pioneers, adventure, stamina, physical strength. And if it was reversed, it would be talking about bigotry, stubbornness, aggressive, hooliganism, and lack of stamina, non starter. Okay, so because it was upright, is keynote to the mind, is trained to comprehend other forms of existence outside of the limited environments of Homo sapiens. I like that. The entertainment profession these days is doing a fairly good job of showing people that it is not necessary for intelligent beings from other worlds to be fashioned in the image and likeness of humans. That's kind of creepy. And as long as this concept is kept in perspective, well and good, when series features prominences in the readings, and particularly in the 8th and 12th house of a horoscope, the spread, the indication of the old soul who has experienced other parts of the universe and who could be gifted with the psychic ability to make and retain contact with those places or time zones. It goes into the mental, subconscious level about the energy of blessed recipients of this energy and the mundane level. I highly suggest if you're really someone that wants to get into this, get the book while you can get it. It's going to be a little bit challenging because, like I said, it costs now. But that is what this energy is talking about. Okay. The messages from the she understanding, that activation, the heart and the third eye is coming online fully understanding. Everything that we do is always about that labor of love, what you're putting into it. What are you putting into it? And don't get caught up in the resistance. A lot of times we get caught up in the resistance, but we have to keep moving forward and break past that resistance, past that part where we tell ourselves, oh, I don't know if I want to do it. I don't know. What are you resisting? What is keeping you resisting? Okay. The activation, this stuff up. Yesterday, the read was off the rocks. Again, here we go. The ended. The Lemurian seed codes. I've been working a lot with the codes. Embracing sensitivity, uniqueness, living with grace. hmm Codes coming on board a lot. Okay, and then here's the last one. This is why I say you can't make this stuff up. Source light upgrades. Solar plexus chakra, inner fire, willpower. Are you willing to do what you need to do? Are you willing? Willing to do it? You have to keep going, keep moving forward. Are you willing? So that's where this energy is. Now, I am feeling some weirdness coming on. Like last night, even though that moon was out, there was people acting up out in the parking lot again for weird stuff. Weird. Like just out of nowhere. And when I looked up at the moon last night, it was right over. So I look up and I'm like, oh, you're right over me. Okay, women, This is for you. Pay attention. With this particular energy that's coming in right now, just because we had the Kala Yuga or the the switchover, you're coming online. So let's pay attention to your root chakra coming online. Because I'm making my notes and then writing out the rest of the codes, for the healing, what I'm doing for people, helping them to remove these negative shields that have been put on you. Get rid of these shields. So I wrote the codes out, got the code written out, got the numbers, what you're going to use, frequency, blah, 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 wrote it out. So I'm sitting in a bed and I'm just sitting there. I'm sitting up. You know how you sit in your bed, you kind of writing stuff. And I feel this. And I'm like, ooh, y'all gonna laugh. Okay. I feel the shake and I'm like, wow, that felt like an earthquake. And I'm looking over at my altar and I'm looking to see if water's moving side to side and I'm not seeing anything. I'm like, well, maybe it happened too quick. So I go back to writing and I feel it again. It's like, wow, we're getting ready to have a big earthquake or something here. Then I hear this. No, that is the coded energy coming through the Kundalini right now. And it's coming up your spine. And I said like this, should I brace for impact? It was a lot of energy. So from that point on, I couldn't finish writing. I literally had to lay down and I'm just like, what the hell? I'm like, okay. The energy was just moving. And I said, well, this is a good time to let everybody know that, yes, you are coming online for sure. So here's the thing, when the Kundalini energy comes up through from how I was receiving it, what I was seeing, it was happening fast and I've never experienced this type of, I guess, activation or download, but it was like light. I heard I heard all this and then it was like shoo, and I went and whole body was just going and I was like, oh my God, what the hell is it? I said, download complete. So I'm thinking that's it, right? I'm like, damn, let me drink some water. Okay, I'll process this. I'll write it out. If something comes up, I'll write it out. So get up, take care of everything else, get in back, cut the light off, get back in bed. I go back to sleep. So I go to sleep. I wake up. It's like around 12. And I said, okay, go back to sleep. All of a sudden, and I know my body, and I know when I'm being contacted, and I know when something's getting ready to go down. So I'm laying and I'm sleeping, and all of a sudden, I start hearing this, and I'm like, uh-oh, I can't move. I can't say anything, but I feel a presence, and I'm like, no, I'm not going right now. I'm not leaving. You're not taking me tonight. You're not taking me. And I hear, no, we're taking you because we need. I said, no, you're not taking me. You haven't identified yourself. You're not taking me. This is a new time. No. And they said, well, you can't. I said, I'm going to override you. And I said my light language in my head, overrode them. I was able to move, able to speak, And when a time I turned my head to look over the side of the bed, it was gone, just like that. I said, don't tell me you're going to take me, you don't identify yourself. Those days are over. You have to identify. We're on an entirely different thing. You don't get to just show up and just take me like that. No, 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 no. What do, what do? No, no, no. You don't get to do that. Different time, different codes. No. So when I said that, it was really interesting because it stopped immediately and left. And I was like, okay, all right. So I laid there and I just waited. And I said, wow, what a particular kind of like face off. Literally, it was a face off. And I just simply said, you are not taking me. Because now the game is, because we are crossing over into this new energy, we're over there, things are going to be starting up differently. They can't just come and just take you now. They can't do that. That's a violation. There's new contracts, everything. No, 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 no. You don't get to do that. And you don't get to swipe me because you think it's okay after you take me, swipe me, and then I'm trying to figure out what the hell happened to me. It's all but a dream. Bull crap. You don't get to do that. You don't get to do that now. Okay? So those of you that get your messages or you're getting contacted, there's rules now. There's new contracts in place. They don't get to just take you and just go extract whatever and whatever they're trying to figure out. Now, if they're going to upgrade you, they're going to do something like that, then they upgrade you. Okay? They give it to you there. They don't necessarily have to take you to do that. But no, this was getting ready to take. I'm like, nope, not going. So I have to be on the lookout for the next 2 nights because sometimes if they don't come, if they can't get me to agree, then they'll come back again and try. But no, I'm not going to worry about that. So pay attention to your messages. I know this video was a lot of things, but I had to say it in this way so that you will understand. Be aware you are going to be tested on where you're putting your attention, what you're watching. Do you want to be a part of this energy, or would you like to come over here and look at this energy? Which one takes care of you better? Which one will leave you with food of thought and going like, wow. I'd rather be in a wow situation than a sad, depleting energy that makes me go back through time and be upset. I'd rather be moving forward. Does that make sense? So just know that if you're going to do some interesting thing, pay attention. Yesterday when I got into my car, I had a grasshopper on my door frame of my car. Why would I have a grasshopper on my door on my car? Why would I have that? So I had to look it up. So, what's the spiritual meaning of a grasshopper? And come to find out, it's all about healing, prosperity, moving forward. And I'm like, oh, that's because of the new shield work I'm doing. Yeah, this is awesome. I like this one. Take those negative shields down. It's good to have your protection ones that you create. Okay? But get rid of the ones that are not. If you're interested in that, you know how to reach me. I've left my info all over the place so you can reach me. And I will do it again. You can email me here. All right, all right, all right. All right, lovelies. That's your message today. Go make it count. It's an interesting Friday energy. And just pay attention where you're needed to be. Yes. Pay attention. All right. And my heart walks with Shira and Kira. I know what she's going through to have her husband just die. I can just imagine what her days are like. But one of the things she talked about is she pushed in her message last night. She said these next 60 days is really important to trust your intuitive self, to trust your divine heart connection, to trust yourself these next 60 days. And I totally get what she's saying because things are coming up dual to see how it can get you to go this way when you should have went this way. It's a dual thing. Okay? This is where you really start to trust yourself. It's not about anybody else trying to validate you. You are validated. I'm going to say it like I always say it. You were already validated when you said yes to coming here and incarnating here to be here. You're already validated. You validated yourself because you knew you could come here and do this. This planet is not for people to maybe think about it. This planet is not for that. Okay? All right, lovelies. Be good to yourself and say it with me so you set your intentions well for today and for the weekend. I know that I am divinely listened to. I'm divinely heard. I'm divinely seen. I'm divinely loved. Be so light. Like and subscribe. Be your true light of self. Thank you so much for your messages, darling. Okay? Be your light. It's on. It is on. So put on your new dancing shoes, lovelies, because I expect you to get the very best. Nothing less, only the best. That means 20s all the way across the dance floor. All right. All right, lovelies. Be good to yourself. Much love. Bye.